Alrighty, so the CONCACAF Champions League semifinal second leg between LAFC and the Philadelphia Union is in the books. And in the end, it's LAFC that is moving on into the final. And now we're going to see whether are they going to be playing against Lyon or Tigres in the final, as the whole Liga MX affair of the semifinal in the second leg will happen tomorrow. But in terms of this game, well, I think this game kind of plays out what we expected. We knew that this was going to be a tightly affair, and it was. I mean, I don't think the scoreline really indicate the fact that it was kind of an affair where, even with LAFC taking a 1-0 lead early in this one, we knew that it kind of doesn't matter the fact that LAFC get that first goal. I mean, the Union need to get themselves a goal so that they can get that away goal and potentially maybe send this one to the PK shootout. And as the second half goes along, you just wonder who exactly is going to score that second goal that could be the killer blow. It turns out it was LAFC, of course, getting that. And also, it doesn't help the fact that the Union found themselves down to 10 men, and they also had some chances in this one that they would definitely rule out, and also some chances in the first leg too that they will definitely rule out as kind of the main reason why they lost this two-leg affair against LAFC. Now, early on, Bedoya, he might have got away with one here because this was an ugly challenge that he had on Palacio. And here's the thing: when we see these CCL games, and I've seen a lot of these, I've always said that, we do see the benefit of the doubt, and in some way, referee tends to not give a straight red for even some of the most serious challenge, because that's how CCL works. I mean, you're going to have those rough challenges where this was probably an MLS that probably would have been look at VAR, and they probably would have said that is worthy of red card. But I think in this case, I mean, as much as I know it kind of sucks to say this, but I think the yellow card is the right decision. Well, I think maybe I'm a little bit too hard on myself in terms of saying it sucks to see this. I think in the end, in terms of how this game would play, it would really suck. The fact that there would be a red card that kind of ruined a well balanced affair, and that again, for Bedoya, I think he's really lucky. The fact that this is the CONCACAF Champions League and in a big occasion like this, because I think if this was just a regular season game in MLS between both of these teams, or in a regular season game that isn't as meaningful as this one, that probably would have gone to VAR, and they probably would say that that is worthy of a red card. But instead, Bedoya gets a yellow there, and I also thought that might be a sign of a brutal second leg affair, because you know that both of these teams love to be physical, and we definitely saw that in this game. There was a lot of yellow card that was handed out in this one, and that it's going to be a war between both of these teams, just like what we saw in the first leg. And I also expected that it was a cagey affair, not much quality chances from either of these teams. Both of these teams was just kind of feeling out each other. But then in the 13th minute, LAFC takes the lead. It's Timothy Tillman that scored here to make it 1-0 in favor of LAFC. Blake actually made a great save originally. Like he made a great save originally, robbing Ilie from a point blank effort, but Tillman was left completely unmarked in the back post. Yeah, you cannot do that if you're against LAFC, and that was just poor defending there for the Union. And yeah, LAFC takes the 1-0 lead, but like I said, that really doesn't matter, because the Union needed to score in this game to potentially move on into the final. And now it's just that if they do score the goal, this would go to a PK shootout. By the way, there was multiple time when I listened to the commentary between John Strong and Stu Holding. I don't know if Stu Holding didn't realize the fact that this game doesn't actually go to extra time, because there was multiple time that he mentioned the fact that, oh, we're gonna go to extra time and stuff like that. No, Stu Holden. Have you not read the rules of CCL, where we don't actually go to extra time in these CCL matches unless if it's a final? Because yeah, it was kind of confusing the fact that he always mentioned, oh, this is gonna go to extra time. This is gonna go to extra time. No, no, it's not gonna go to extra time, Stu. This is just going to go to a PK shout if it gets to that point. But nevertheless, there was a scramble then in the LAFC box that the Union couldn't capitalize. Set piece defending was a problem for both of these teams, and I had a feeling that there was a chance that we're going to see a goal in this one, especially from the Union. Set piece might be the place to do, because at least for most part of this game, they were really good on the set piece, but also the defending was not. I mean, the defending was a huge problem for both of these teams on the set pieces. So in the 23rd minute, McCarthy would deny Gastak in the front post before on the other end, Bawanga would hit one into the back extension of the netting. Then Gastak fires one that is denied by McCarthy. And again, this is where you start to see the game opens up. Oh, that goal really kind of changed the thing where, the Union, I mean, I guess they're trying to be a little bit more aggressive to trying to get a response. I mean, again, I know that goal doesn't really matter in terms of the aggregate good score, but still, they want to get themselves the equalizer and put a lot of pressure on LAFC. And again, I said that the Union, they had created some great chances. But the question is, can they put one in and get that all important equalizer? It didn't happen, and we do head to halftime with LAFC leading 1-0. Now, in the second half, Glasnes would puts it high from long range on the free kick because why not? Jacob Glasnes, he has already scored a crazy goal in this building a couple years ago. Tried to do the same thing, didn't happen here. We then get some pushing and shoving between both teams. It was kind of a small pushing and shoving. I didn't think that we saw as much of a heated affair as I thought it was, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the referee decided to be a little bit aggressive in terms of handing out the yellow card. And I think in the end, I think this is kind of the right call because I think he knew that this was going to be physical and this could be temp very hot temperature, and that I think those yellow cards that he kind of handed out early in this game kind of set a precedent that hey, if you're going to be physical and if you're going to do some extra activity, you are going to be treading a line early. And I think those yellow card also kind of stops the fact that yeah, with some players already on yellow card, they don't really want to get a second yellow card and basically get himself sent off because of it. And actually that we kind of foreshadow of what I'll talk about. One specific player from the Union didn't get that memo in the second half, but in the 55th minute, Hollinshead would hit one off the back heel. It was kind of a weak effort on the back heel, but it definitely trickled through the traffic, and this one goes right to Blake there. Again, it was bad set piece defending there from the Union, and I just thought that we might actually get a goal from the set piece, which it's kind of interesting that we actually didn't get a goal from the set piece in this one. Then in the 59th minute, we had a red card as Bizo would get his second yellow card here, and this is where I said earlier about how it seems like one player doesn't get the memo. Olivier Bizo probably didn't get the memo because again, the first yellow card he got, it was very unnecessary. He basically shoved, I think it was Opoku, or actually not Opoku, but forgot who he of course shoved. He shoved one of the LAFC player at the back. It might have been Tillman there, and he picked up a yellow card for that. Like that's just a very silly way to get a yellow card. And then here, another silly way to get a yellow card. I mean, I know Bawanga is he has the speed and the finishing, but when you're on a yellow card, you cannot make that challenge. And again, Bizo, didn't. I don't know if he forgot that he was on a yellow card. He made a sloppy challenge there, and that's a second yellow card. So yeah, the Union were down to 10 men, and that kind of allowed LAFC to kind of start to dictate plays, and they were trying to kind of almost grind out this game. I mean, I think grind out might not be the right word to say because they were still being optimistic in terms of the attack. They were still trying to go forward and to get that second goal because again, they can't just sit on this lead. And I think this is an example of seeing why LAFC is such a good team and why Steve Cherundolo is trying to become a very underrated head coach because we've seen where teams they decided to just kind of sit in on this lead and hope for the best, and it just comes back to bite them. Not LAFC. They start still trying to be aggressive, but at the same time, they also don't want to be too aggressive. They done a good job in terms of balancing the line where they're just gonna still stay compact. But when the opportunity arrives, we're gonna go quickly on the attacking end and attack this short-handed Union team. And I also thought that, is the Union kind of being a little bit cautious? Is Jim Kern being a little bit cautious, knowing the fact that, he doesn't want to make this a 2 or 3-0 scoreline? In fact, he actually bring on Hariel in this game after Biza was sent off to add in another fullbacks and sacrifice Uru in that spot. So that was kind of a move that I think he was just trying to be cautious because, you don't want to lose this one straight away. You want to maybe push late to try to get the equalizer. Bedoya then flicked one into the stands in the 67th minute. It was a brutal game for Ali Bedoya. I mean, this was not a great game for him whatsoever, especially on the passing department. I think he actually finished the game below 50% in terms of passing, and that's just again, I feel like for Bedoya, Father Time is starting to catch up on him, and that it was kind of a little bit absurd the fact that he was playing for so long in this one. In fact, I don't think he even got subbed off in this one, even though it just looked like he was kind of dragging this Union attack down because of his bad passing play throughout the game. Hariel then fires it wide from long range before Opoku trying to finish it, but he puts it wide from close range. And I also wrote buckle your seatbelt because you know that this is starting to open up. You know that the Union is going to chase to try to get themselves that equalizer and tie this aggregate score. But then in the 75th minute, Vela did try to chip Blake after just a brutal turnover for the Union, but he missed that one way wide. And I mean, bro, the Union cannot afford to turn the ball over that easily. That is the last thing they need to do to turn the ball over to this LAFC team because you know that when you turn the ball against this LAFC team, this one might be lights out in terms of this two-legged affair. And I also thought that the Union has to get better in terms of the build-up because it just feels like they were struggling to string out passes. Again, a part of that has to do with the fact that they're playing down a man. But I feel like, it was getting to a point where I was expecting that now it's time to go. Like they have to be a little bit more aggressive. They have to push man forward because it's now or never in terms of trying to get yourself that equalizer. But unfortunately, it didn't happen because in the 82nd minute. This is the dagger. Opoku would score from Vela here to make it 2-0 in favor of LAFC, and I wrote that was pretty much the game because I'm pretty sure the Union players know it too because after that, they just look absolutely dejected. They knew that this two-leg affair has slipped away from them. LAFC was in full control. They were looking to try to add a third goal, and they do. In the 89th minute, who else but Dennis Bawanga? He scored here for Safuntes to make it 3-0 in favor of LAFC, and that's your final score of this game. As the shots in this one, 19 shots for the 7 that the Union has, 2 shots on goal for the 8 that LAFC had, 4 shots off target for the 3 that LAFC had, 8 shots that was blocked for the 1 that the Union has, and both teams had 50% in this game. And as I said, LAFC moving on into the CONCACAF Champions League final, and again, it will be to be determined who they're going to be facing, either Tigres or Leon. I mean, secretly, every LAFC fans want to face Tigres in the final. You know that they want revenge for what happened a couple of years ago, and especially now that they actually will have their fans in attendance. Whereas couple of years in that CCL final playing Orlando, there was no fans in the stadium, and that is going to make a huge difference in terms of it. So we'll see whether that is going to be the matchup that they will face. But overall, this game just kind of shows you what LAFC is. They are a very dangerous team, and I will not be surprised that they will carry this momentum into the game against the San Jose Earthquakes. I mean, as a Quakes fan myself, after watching this performance, I'm already saying that yeah, the Quakes are probably not gonna win it, and I know the Quakes are gonna be at home. Well, they're technically at home. I mean, they're not playing at PayPal. They decided to play their game at against LAFC at Levi Stadium, which again, there's gonna be a big crowd, but I'm pretty sure most of them is gonna be probably wearing LAFC jersey. But yeah, overall, this team they just look unstoppable, and I said it many times before, and I say it again. It's almost like even though I know there are people that hate LAFC because they're so good, and we always have that natural instinct of hating teams when they're being too good. I just enjoy it. Like I enjoy watching how they play, and even though as a rival, I don't shouldn't be enjoying it. I mean, the way that they play, it just shows you that even when they do get to that lead that CCL final, if they can play like this, or even like when we see LAFC play at their best, there is no team in MLS or even in Liga MX or even in the CONCACAF region that I can say that can stop this team. This team is just so good when they're at its best, and in this game, it just shows that they were at their best when it matters, and it's not a big surprise that they take care of the business against the Philadelphia Union. But for the Union, again, in this game, like I said, those chances that they missed in the first leg, you just had a feeling it was going to come back to haunt them. And then in this game, they had their chances too, but again, just some bad decision that was was happening in this game that kind of gone against them. I mean, the red card obviously is the notable one, but I just feel like again, just in terms of the tactical wise, I feel like for Jim Kern, he probably should have gone for it maybe a little bit earlier, or at least trying to go tell his player to really push up, because again, I was just waiting for them to eventually push up, and waiting for when are they going to really click the green light and started to push forward to pressure this LAFC team, and they just never able to do so. Now, again, credit has to do with this LAFC team. They did a good job in terms of defending when the Union did try to push forward, but again, this is going to be very disappointing for the Union, especially again. This was a chance for them to get their revenge on LAFC, and unfortunately, they're not able to do so. And that let's just hope that now that the CCL run is over, this does not affect them once they go to league play, because we've seen so many times when teams in CCL go on a long run, and they come up short, and again it can really be a mental kind of law as the league play goes along. Let's just hope that's not the case for the Union, who again they're kind of in the lower part of the standings. They know that they can do better, and we'll see how they're going to do. But like I said, for LAFC, this team is just so dangerous right now. I can't see how the Quakes in this weekend, even if LAFC decide to trot out a weaker team, I just can't see how the Quakes are going to win against LAFC this weekend. But there you have it. That's pretty much it in terms of the review. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this game? And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys do like, smash the subscribe button. And yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.